From the misty mountains of China to the medieval castles of Europe to the sacred temples of the Aztecs, almost every civilization on Earth has told stories of dragons. But why? How is it that cultures separated by oceans and thousands of miles all describe creatures that look strangely similar? Giant reptilian beasts with scales, wings, and terrifying powers. Today, we'll explore the origins of dragon myths, the scientific evidence behind them, and what these stories reveal about the human mind. In Chinese culture, the dragon is not a monster, but a symbol of power, prosperity, and divine authority. Emperors called themselves sons of the dragon, and farmers prayed to dragons for rain and good harvests. Yet in Europe, dragons were feared. They guarded treasures and caves, burned villages with fire, and were slain by brave knights like St. George. In ancient Greece, serpentine monsters like Python and Hydra were feared, while in Norse legends, dragons such as Fafnir represented greed and chaos. Thousands of miles away in Mesoamerica, the Aztecs and Mayans worshipped Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, a god of creation and wisdom. In Japan, dragons ruled rivers and seas, while in Mesopotamia, the goddess Tiamat took the form of a monstrous dragon embodying chaos itself. How could all of these cultures, many with no contact at all, share such a powerful image? One answer may lie in our biology. Psychologists have found that humans have an instinctive fear of snakes, predators, and large birds of prey. For our ancestors, these creatures were deadly threats. Some scientists suggest the dragon is a super predator created in the imagination of early humans, a combination of snake, bird, and big cat, a creature that embodied our deepest fears. But fear alone doesn't explain everything. Archaeology provides another clue. For thousands of years, people across the world discovered enormous bones buried in the ground, fossils of dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts they couldn't possibly understand. In China, these fossils were called dragon bones and were ground into medicine as far back as 2,000 years ago. In Mongolia, the skeleton of the dinosaur Protoceratops may have inspired stories of desert dragons. In Greece, the skulls of mammoths with their huge central cavity for a trunk were mistaken for the remains of monsters. In Europe's chalk cliffs, fossilized plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs may have given birth to tales of sea serpents. Even in the Americas, fossils of giant crocodiles like Deinosuchus could have inspired the myth of feathered serpents. Natural disasters may also have shaped dragon legends. Volcanic eruptions spewing fire and ash could easily be imagined as the breath of a dragon. Floods and storms might have inspired the water dragons of Asia. Lightning, thunder, and hurricanes became the weapons of serpentine gods. In a world without modern science, dragons were a way to explain the unexplainable. Yet dragons are more than just fear or misunderstanding. They became cultural symbols. In China, they represented harmony between heaven and earth. In Europe, they symbolized chaos and evil to be conquered. In Mesoamerica, they stood for life, death, and rebirth. Dragons are not simply monsters. They are mirrors of human society, embodying our hopes, fears, and values. So, were dragons real? Not in the way myths describe them. No creature has ever been discovered that matches the fire-breathing dragons of legend. But in another sense, dragons are very real. They are a universal creation of the human mind, born from fossils, fears, and the forces of nature. They live in our stories, our art, and our imagination, and perhaps that is why dragons endure. Across every culture, across every age, we tell stories of dragons, not because they once ruled the earth, but because, in a way, they still rule our imagination.